The question is, why zoning? We need to take into cognizance our peculiarities as a people. One of them, like you mentioned, is ethnicity, culture, religion, and many more. For us to accommodate all the various interests, it is good that we bring in zoning. I think that is the bottom line, why zoning is in place, exactly for our peculiarities that we have in this part of the world. Now, take the case of the North-South balance. 8 years for the North, power should rotate to the South. I think it's to accommodate the various interests, be it religious, be it population, and be it our cultural diversity. Now, here in the state, the governorship is rotating among the 3 senatorial zones. And as God would have it, and for me, nature has been able to make it seamless for us, that Bayelsa West did 8 years without any hitch. And it eventually moved to Bayelsa Central. His Excellency, the current governor, has done his first tenure. Just recently, by February this year, he celebrated his first year in office into his second tenure. And by his grace, he's going to complete the remaining 3 years. And it is only good, fair, as you mentioned, for purposes of equity, justice, and fairness, that the next governor should come from Bayelsa East. It's just a matter of 16 years of waiting. Like I said, Bayelsa West have done 8 years. Bayelsa Central is going to do 8 years. So they have to wait for another 8 years from Bayelsa East for power to get back to Bayelsa West. In other words, let us make it seamless. Let us make it simplified. Let it be that it's something Bayelsa is introducing to the rest of the country. So look at the model there. They have this internal understanding among the 3 senatorial zones. And for them to have a governorship candidate is so simplified, it's so seamless, that it should be a model for the rest of the country to copy. I think it's something we should sell to the rest of the country.
This zoning thing, it has been argued that it denies the people of having the best, the qualified, the prepared, the ready people who are thrown out. And it's said to be as undemocratic. It just says you can't contest. Not because you're not qualified, but because your own zone has done its turn.
If you have aspirations to contest and it is not yet your time, in other words, in terms of the senatorial zone, why not see it as a sacrifice? Because the sustenance of peace, stability in the political entity is far and higher than one person's interest. So, if the succession train is simple, if it is clear, if there is this understanding, let us cite the case of Bayelsa East Senatorial Zone, where they serve one tenure for a senator, and they have been doing it right from the inception of this democracy in 1999 till date. I think it's seamless. It is very simple. Any senator that goes there will serve one tenure, and at the end of the tenure, it naturally moves to the next local government area. It's part of, the simplified process in that senatorial zone, and that should be reflected in the state arrangement. That is what we are canvassing for.
All right. Are you canvassing as an organization or as individuals? How do you intend to influence the political parties?
Thank you. Between now and the next elections is some in the state is some 3-4 years, and it is our wish that for this period we want to mobilize, we want to appeal to the conscience of Bayelsans that look, the bigger picture is higher and above the individual interest. And for those of them that have interests, governorship interests in the next governorship election here in the state, we are also appealing that for the purpose of peace, shield your ambition if you're not from Bayelsa East. Like I said, these other two local senatorial zones, by His grace, we're going to do the 8 years. Assuming you have 3 children and you have your estates and you share it among, or you will it among between child 1 and 2, and you leave out child 3, what or how will that child feel? And as a parent, if you have conscience and you leave out a child, how will you feel? In other words, what we are saying as a body, we are appealing to the very essence of Bayelsans that look, let us make it seamless. Let us simplify the process. Let us make necessary sacrifices so that the bigger picture, the picture of peace, stability for our children and our children unborn will be secured. Now take the case of the US, where the democratic process have lasted for over 200 years. Sometimes I begin to imagine what were those sacrifices that were made by the founding fathers? What were the things that they let go so that, the country can have a peaceful transition from one election to the other? You can also imagine that by the time, the votes are counted and it's, just quarter to the declaration of the full result, the candidate that is losing will congratulate the one that is winning. And you will never hear of, candidates going to tribunals after elections. So how do we get to, that level here in Bayelsa State? We can do it if we make the necessary sacrifices when we look at the bigger picture of our state. In other words, if there is peaceful transition from one senatorial zone to the other, I think it's going to be in the best interest of all of us. It's going to ensure stability, and above all, we will get security that we all, eager for. But take the case of Bill Clinton in the US. Bill Clinton from Arkansas is one of the smallest states in the US. One of the smallest, if not the smallest in the US. Yet he emerged as president because in that climb, what they consider is merit. Do you have,
So if we're looking at merit here, people from Ekiremo could say that they have men who have built capacity and that they have never presented a governor of Bayelsa State, so they should be given a chance. People from Genagua could say, wow, the capital city, they also need a governor. Why should it be given when people should contest?
And that was why I said that it is a long haul.
Okay.
From now till the next elections.
All right.
But here we are.
To start first.
Yes, they say a stitch in time saves nine. Mm. So let us see how we can be talking to the Bayelsa public to see reason.
My phone line has been ringing, so let me just give you. Let me not ask you any question. Let me just leave you as though you were making a presentation. Let me allow you, for as long as you can, make an appeal, beginning with this moment, without asking a question. An appeal.
once again, I want to thank Bayelsans for tuning into this program. Here I am sitting in 94.7 FM in this Viewpoint program and making this passionate appeal to all of us out there that there is need for us to be our brother's keepers. There is need for us to build a political system that is going to endure, that's going to withstand the test of time. And the way we can do it is to make sure that there is a seamless transition of power. And in this case, the governorship seat from one senatorial zone to the other. And as God would have it, Bayelsa West have made 8 years, and Bayelsa Central is making 8 years. He has done his first 4 years, he celebrated his first year into the second tenure, and by his grace, like I said earlier, he's going to see his second tenure through. And it is only fair that the next senatorial zone that have not done it for 8 years should be the next beneficiary, and that is Bayelsa East. So it's a passionate appeal to all Bayelsans. Let us shield our individual interest for the greater good of the state, for the greater good of the people, so that there will be no rancor, no bitterness in the struggle for power. I think that is the central message. If that happens, there will be stability, there will be peace, and insecurity will be very far from us. In other words, politically triggered insecurity.
All right.
So if we are concerned about our future, let us make it seamless. And any sacrifice on individual base should not be seen as too much. For now, we don't know governorship candidates, because the time is still far. We don't know governorship candidates that have interest for the next governorship slot. Be that as it may, we are appealing that if you are not from Bayelsa East for purposes of peace, you should shield your governorship ambition and leave it for aspirants from Bayelsa East, so that we can have a very peaceful state.